One of the most treasured gifts my mother gave to me was the gift of love, the gift of understanding, and probably the greatest lesson she taught me was forgiveness and to be humble. Um, the humble part did not come easy, and it did not become easy because of my history of long suffering and watch. I used to get in a lot of fights when I was little because people would pick fun of my mom or either pick fun of like my friends. And anytime someone mocked or picked at someone that I loved, it was like pushing a red button. I went from zero to outer space. And that's just always kind of been my nature. I'm an Aries. I was born April the 5th. So we're ruled by, I think, Mars. So we're fire sign, spicy. Anyway, but we are loving, we're loyal to a fault, we're loving to a fault. A lot of times we love the wrong people. But even when I was married to my now ex-husband, I remained loyal to him because I tried to pray for him, and I tried to take him to church, and I tried all type of things because he was an alcoholic. He still is an alcoholic, and he was spiritually dead. I didn't understand what that meant until not long ago. About 19 years ago, 19, 20 years ago is when I met him. And I met him actually in 1999. And soon after that, he kind of like rushed in and kind of like swept me off my feet and made promises. You know, he's like, I'm going to get you a house, I'm going to buy you this, you know. And he did those things, but it came with a price. It came with a price. And so at the time, my biological aunt, you know, sounded good to her. You know, his bank account sounded good to her. She checked the bank account, but she did not check his spiritual account. Okay? She did not check his spiritual bank account because it was null and void. It was empty. There was nothing in it. There was no love of God in him. She did not check that account. So she pushed me off on him. And I found out how spiritually and morally bankrupt that he was throughout the course of the relationship. Came a point in time where one day he had gotten drunk, had fell asleep. I packed up my children. My son was about maybe 5 or 6. I waited till he got good and drunk. And I got up out of that house. I said, kids, get in the car. I grabbed some suitcases and fled to the next town. I went to a domestic violence shelter and stayed there for a while, and just, you know, in time, picked myself back up. You know, God was always with me. I always loved God. And so he always protected me. And he still continues to protect me and lead me and guide me along the way. And, you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because he is with me, his rod and his staff, they comfort me. His rod of correction, he chastened me with it. God chastens those who he loves. And only his sheep knows his voice. And I heard his voice loudly at times, and I disobeyed him. And I suffered the consequences as I should have. I deserved everything in those seasons. Those seasons have passed long ago. And as I began to draw closer to God, I got into the habit of talking out loud, just talking to God. You know, he's right there with you. You know, people don't really understand. They don't, you know, people say they're Christians, but they're kind of like lukewarm. Because if you're not spending time just talking out loud and asking God to search your heart and search your mind and search your intentions, and you got to ask Him to remove the things that are not of Him. You have to ask those things. He'll do those things for you, but you have to open your mouth and allow Him to come in to do those things for you. And that's when your transformation actually occurs. Up until that point, most of you guys are just doing your own will. You're not doing the will of the Father. I see it every day. I see it every day. I see it every day. And God is no respecter of persons. And I say all that to say this: the shalom of the Lord, nothing missing and nothing broken. Mother died from wicked systems, broken systems. I've healed from that, but I do revisit those memories quite frequently. I went through a depression. It was probably for about at least a month. I couldn't get out of the bed. I slept. I stayed in the bed. I had family members tell me, oh, go to the doctor. Oh, you need a therapist. Oh, do this. That is the most insensitive thing to say to a person who just lost their mother and who is in a state of, depression. Don't throw a prayer emoji up. That means nothing. That's a vain prayer. That means nothing. They need to just cancel those things. I'm not going to say that all people's prayers are not sincere because I don't know. But the ones that I do see, and I saw one coming from an uncle of mine, when I was telling him some things that God had revealed to me, the Holy Spirit actually, he grieved the Holy Spirit. I don't know if he blasphemed the Holy Spirit. It seems like by definition that is exactly what he did, because on that day, a huge storm came about shortly after that took place. Because I really wept after that conversation. His heart was hard, and his heart is hard, and he still hasn't reached out to me to this day. And it doesn't matter because I don't need him to. I forgave all of them long ago. So as I'm telling you guys this story, I have forgiven everyone. I have released them. I'm indifferent to them. And so I'm just thankful. Now I'm getting ready to go watch my Rabbi, Jonathan Kahn. He is the most awesome shepherd. He is one of the most awesome shepherds. I'm not going to discredit anyone else because there are a few. John MacArthur, Derek Prince, DTBM, Dr. Stanley. And there's another guy, Lord have mercy, I forgot his name, but I'll throw his name out there too. He's a black guy. So I want to always give honor where honor is due. For anyone who speaks and worships God in spirit and truth, I always send a big shout out and a big hug and a big thank you, and I love you too, you guys. Oh, Motivational Doc, he's awesome. Anyone who promotes healthy healing and heal thyself, I salute you guys. To God be all the glory. Thank you. Bye-bye.